we're just walking around Vienna, and unlike joining an actual tour guide or an actual tour, which is we usually do, since we've already been here, we're just doing a walking tour courtesy of Google. So we had just passed, it's called Burggarten, and there's like a famous statue of Wolfgang Mozart, who is pretty much like the most important Austrian that I can think of, because of course he's a world famous composer, and hence also the State Opera House, music and the arts. So many gardens. We've now come to another garden, which is called the Volksgarten, which is kind of like Volkswagen. And here there are literally over 3,000, was it 3,000 or 300, either one of the two types of flowers that you can find in this beautiful garden. And the nice thing about it, in fact, I'm looking at it here, there's like all these different types of roses, and there is a name to each and every single one. That, of course, that you shouldn't touch. And so now, according to our driver, this is the oldest church in Vienna. I'm not actually sure of the name because he didn't say, so it will just be flashed on the screen. Central is the oldest cafe in Vienna, and you can see there's a bit of like a number of people like queuing up. It's been around since 1876. So that building right there, you see that balcony, that is actually the house of the President of Austria, and he actually waves from that window. Whenever that happens, there's a lot of police surrounding the area, but thank God it's empty. I guess he's not home, he went out shopping. So this is the CC Museum, and I just remember I actually had a photo posted here on Instagram 6 years ago. So these are really famous steps. It's actually Albertina, where you combine Albert and Tina, and that image was actually created by Picasso. And that's Christina and Albert. You know, there are times we always pre-plan all our tours, but then we decide to do something spontaneous and rent one of those. It's a great quick way to see the sights, and then later on you get to decide which places you actually want to go back to. At least this was our starting and ending point, and this balcony right there, Hitler has actually addressed people from that balcony. This is Habsburg. It was the former imperial palace of the Habsburg family. God, I hope I'm saying that right. But now it's no longer a residence, but it is a house of so many museums. There's actually a map, or at least a guide, that shows you all the different museums that's gathered all around. So that tour that you just saw from that golf cart, it's also environmentally friendly because it is electric. It's 25 euros per person, and there's two types of tours. There's a short one, I think it's about for 25 minutes. I honestly don't know what you're going to see in 25 minutes given how slow the car goes. And then there's 45 minutes, which is what we got to do. That's 25 euros. It's truly worth it. It really is nice, and considering it's not the best for photos or videos because it is such a cloudy day, it is perfect weather because considering it's summer, it's not hot. And since we're still on the subject of history, why don't I take you guys back to our hotel, to Hotel Bristol. Have you ever wondered, you know, when you come across buildings, there's a floor called M, or the mezzanine. It actually comes from an Italian word called mezze. Wow, I need to catch my breath. I just took 5 flights of stairs. Okay, so, which means middle. Okay, so back in the day, the Austrians actually invented the word or the floor mezzanine because as even till today, there's a thing called property tax. So the more taxes or the more land or the more floors you had, you actually had to pay more. So they actually had to find a loophole. Hence the word mezzanine, because it's not really a floor. It's not 1, 2, or a penthouse. It's the mezzanine. Now you know. Okay. So this hotel is so historical. I mean, we've been to, or at least we've stayed at, so many hotels all over the world. The fanciest ones, the not so fancy ones. Sometimes it has nothing to do with being fancy. It just has to do with being historical. The great thing about the Bristol is that when you get to the first floor, the first thing that you can see, if you actually take the time to read, thanks to Mom, you can actually take a tour of the presidential suite, which is called the Prince Wales Suite. Guys, this is insane. So this is the Prince of Wales suite or the presidential suite here at the Bristol, and it is just amazing. So basically Prince Edward and his lover, something Wallace, I forgot her, but anyway, this hotel is so historical. In fact, this is the hotel that had the very first electricity, therefore having the first elevator. It's actually still the original. You know what's not original? Their gym. The room actually has a gym, people, with full equipment. And then of course they have their lovely walk-in closet, because you know, royalty, they certainly need more than one clothes rack. They have an amazing bedroom with just, it's 200 square meters, which is wow. Take a look at this. Look how high this closet is. It's because apart from in the old times, people don't just stay like, you know, overnight. They actually had a lot of stuff. They stayed for long periods of time, so they needed all the closet space. So apart from here, even in the bedroom, and of course they have their long gowns with the petticoats. So you need it. You need that height, that space. Okay, so take a look at the TV. This is also from the 1600s. Wireless. No, we were actually told that because this cabinetry here is actually antique, so of course you won't have that mechanism that actually brings the TV up and down. So you know, it's a mix of antique and the comforts of modernity. And these are also closets apart from the walk-in closet, because a girl can never have enough petticoats and shoes. Am I right? Absolutely. And let me show you to the best part of the room. And no, it's not the walk-in closet. Ta-da-da! The gym. And the best joke of the day is that we were told the antique gym was that it was run by horses. So if you want to burn calories and run with your horses, you can do that. And then of course, maybe Prince Edward wanted to have a board meeting to discuss what they would have for lunch. This is where they would have it. And then if you actually want to rent the room, it's only 6,000 euros a night for 2 people, but you can expand and you can have maybe a bachelor party and get all the conjoining rooms and then have one big mashup and have coffee at the living room. Right? Right. Amen. Hi everyone, so I am here inside the Vienna Opera House and it's just absolutely beautiful. I wanted to come and step out because it's really crowded. There's a lot of tour groups and in different languages. Of course, I'm in the one in English and I'm just showing you guys like the balcony, and a lot of this was actually damaged in World War II. So 80% of it was damaged. So it's really a mix of what's original and what's modern, or rather what's reconstructed. lucky that we got to go inside to see the main theater itself, because usually it's closed because there's always a show that's happening here. So we're really, really lucky. One of the rooms that we actually saw was, it's called a tea salon. It's basically, you know, when you watch theater, or the opera in this case, there's always an intermission. And in some cases they have about even 3 intermissions because the show is so long, even up to 5 hours. So the tea salon is where you can have like, well, tea, champagne. It's also used as a room, let's say, when they're appointing people who are watching, like, hi, like dignitaries, politicians, so on and so forth. And of course, as with most opera houses, we'll always have your grand staircase, so that also comes as like part of the tour. Everybody wants to get a photograph, and it's really just absolutely beautiful. And I guess this is one of the original parts that was not damaged by the war, at least I'd like to think so. Lovely. So we're now inside like the main theater, and the place where I said they don't usually let guests up is that one where we came from. It's actually the most expensive seats in the house. But anyway, this is the main theater right here for the normal people like us. And then this area over here is for the standing room area. Of course, it's the cheapest seats. People even line up from the night before. They camp out the theater, especially if it's a certain specific artist that they really want to see. So that was the Vienna State Opera. Now, what's nice is the location. It's really central, and it is also located right across the Hotel Bristol. Now, if this is historical, that is super impressively historical. In fact, it is the hotel that we're staying at. And I wasn't normally going to include the hotel, but it's just pretty amazing. Can you hear that? It's Avicii, my jam. See, I love how the opera has really tried to make things to accommodate what's modern, so that even the younger people would actually like to come and watch. So right after the tour, you can actually come to the souvenir store, where you not only find some, of course, souvenir goods, but at the same time music from all the many artists that have performed here. I don't know if Avicii has ever performed here, but certainly his music is known all over the world, even through opera. Isn't that amazing? I found it, and it's sold. So cool. There's titanium levels. Don't you worry, child. This right here is the main square. It's like where all the shopping is. And I remember when I was here, I came at night, and there's like a fountain right at the center, and this church. So the church we just came from, a quick stop, that was St. Peter's Catholic Church. But the big daddy of them all is, oh my God, St. Stephen's Cathedral. This is like, I guess I would say it is pretty much like the landmark of Vienna. So we had the Sacher-Torte. 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 Anyways, I love Austria and I love Vienna, and I mean, hey, I even bought the chocolates from the store. And I got to see the hotel. It was really such a beautiful, beautiful establishment and history. Before I get to the verdict, let me tell you the history of it. So basically, the royal family, since 1832, so there was a royal chef. He was sick. He was preparing for a royal banquet. So his apprentice had to come up with a really amazing dessert to make sure that all the guests were happy. And hence the Sacher-Torte was born. And it's basically a chocolate sponge cake with chocolate frosting and apricot jam. At least I've tried it. It's just, honestly guys, it's just a regular chocolate cake. The history makes it all the more worthwhile. I mean, if you guys have tried Polish cake from Shell Magallanes, that's a showstopper. I mean, hey, and I can say this because for all you know, people who've come to the Philippines and they've had our buko pie and they're like, eh, or they've had our bibingka and they're like, eh. This one was just, it was okay. But still, it was nice to know. It's one of those tourist experiences to say that you were able to try it and you were able to savor a part of history. And there you go. Sacher-Torte.